traces of the supernatural reveal themselves more often than intelligent and reasonable men would prefer them to. Chimeras worshipped by our ancestors centuries ago crawl back into the light from ancient times. The directors of our fate rain ash down on us from the grey heavens. They conceal themselves beneath us, above us, and among us, staying hidden until we muster up the resolve to meet their malevolent gaze. Having been discovered, they appear in the flesh for a mere moment, and then they expire horribly, wreaking havoc on the world that they rightfully see as their toy. Ja, willkommen zum neuen Wochenendprojekt. Wir spielen Pathologic an. Wir spielen es an. Sage ich deshalb, weil es ein Spiel ist, das ich sehr liebe, das ich oft angefangen habe zu spielen. Ich habe es noch nie geschafft, es durchzuspielen. Und ich glaube auch nicht, dass wir es hier schaffen werden. Aber ich habe es ja schon angekündigt in Resident Evil. Ich möchte es euch gerne mal zeigen, denn ich habe es bei Simon von den Rocket Beans gesehen. Und also mir gefällt es einfach total gut. Sobald es Herbst wird, ein bisschen gruselig und dunkel draußen, bekomme ich immer Lust hierauf. Und ja, genieße einfach zwischendrin gerne mal die Atmo. Und ja, keine Ahnung, möchte es euch einfach gerne mal zeigen, mal sehen, wie weit wir hier kommen. Ich habe allerdings nicht die Ambition, es bis zum Ende zu schaffen, muss ich sagen. Aber naja. Lasst euch einfach überraschen, es ist ein bisschen was anderes. Ich werde auch längere Parts machen, da wir viele Dialoge vorlesen, also da ich viele Dialoge vorlesen werde. Und es, ja, doch ein bisschen viel Content hat, den man hier erstmal durchbringen muss. Naja. Ich freue mich, es euch zu zeigen, bin auf eure Meinung gespannt. Vielleicht kennt ihr es ja auch, vielleicht kennt ihr es auch gar nicht. Wir starten ein neues Spiel.
So, it's all about trickery to you? Wherever have you come from?
No. I detest trickery. But if we ourselves are to suffer deception, our hands are no longer tied. Where are we?
Well, the muscular contraction is there. Means you're already inside of him. This must be one of the ventricles, right here.
What a silly place. It's stuffed. So it's not real for now? I don't think it has started yet.
Does it matter what it's made of? It's definitely struggling. We need to perform sectio transversalis. Cut the wall. There's no other way out. What else is there to do?
I know what to do. Those who favor hard logic and direct action are bound to be misguided. Only a miracle can set us free without us having to destroy something. And I can do miracles. Just let me.
Will you please be quiet? You're a liar and a thief. Who is going to believe you when you keep lying to yourself? The truth is my shepherd. Whatever happens, I will find answers, and justice will be restored. I will perform the operation. Medica morbo adhibe.
Don't you go all bossy on me, clever clogs. You will act justly, but your justice will blind you and become his demise. This calls for the gentle hand of a surgeon. Step aside, both of you.
Your gentle hands are used to killing, not giving life. You will inevitably do harm. As for Brainy, he has no regard for casualties at all. Neither of you knows compassion.
Yes, it seems unlikely that we'll get along well, but there's only one truth.
Any choice is right as long as it's willed. That's the truth of the matter.
Only the heart will show you the right choice. Stop thinking about yourselves. Think of the sick. He's in pain. I can't see it yet, but I can feel it.
It's not even a trap. It's a grave. Subipsum funes sumus. Can't say I hold a soft spot for it.
I can see that. You're full of hate. Stuffed or not, it's breathing. I can hear it. It can be healed rather than killed.
You mean you won't become a killer? But you will. Mark my word, that's exactly what will happen. But I can avoid it.
No, we won't ever get along. I suggest we be on our way. The sooner the better.
Off we go then?
Let's go. The clock is ticking.
Ja, eine kurze Einführung über die Charaktere, die wir hier auswählen können. Bachelor. The history of humanity witnessed a number of catastrophes that have demonstrated, without a shadow of doubt, the pettiness of human achievement and the triumph of the invincible evil. Outbreaks of infectious diseases that have from time to time wiped towns and cities off the map are undoubtedly among those. However smart and virtuous, the people caught up in these destructive events have repeatedly come to the conclusion that it's no use trying to fight these circumstances. The best you can do is bite the bullet and cope with your losses. This is the story of a person who has managed to work a miracle and defeat a seemingly unvanquishable foe. The Harusbecks. How do they call upon the Manku, the faithful of a warden kin? Known by their hands, for they are butchers, known by their eyes, for they are surgeons. They who follow the lines, they who are the leaders of the kin, they who speak to Urdirks, they who know the secret art of haruspicy. What is a Harusbecks? Reading the future in the entrails. He knows that a body bears semblance to the universe. His scalpel follows the lines of the body, his steps follow the lines of his kin's fortune. A Harusbecks that can tell a true line from a false one is entrusted with power. A Harusbecks who is confused by his path gets buried into the deep black flesh of the earth. This is the story of a person who has avoided the contradiction, eager to rip a doomed life apart, masterfully fulfilling his true purpose in the process. Und der Changeling. This character is only unlocked after you finish the Bachelor's or the Harusbecks storyline. Wir wählen den Bachelor. The Invisible Enemy. Daniil Dankovsky, a Bachelor of Medicine, was brought here by circumstances most unfortunate. Dankovsky's life work, his theory challenging the existing notion of human mortality, is being harshly persecuted by the powers that be. Suddenly a letter arrives from a colleague suggesting that there is previously undiscovered evidence which may support Dankovsky's claims. There's a settlement, the letter says, ruled by an extraordinary man who may well be seen as objective proof of Dankovsky's daring hypothesis. Grasping at straws of hope, Dankovsky decides to follow what he believes to be a sign of divine providence. Without further ado, he sets off for the settlement. Late at night, the Bachelor arrives in the town. As he seeks room and board, he gets to know a girl called Everyan and stays at her place till dawn. As of today, my mission remains obscure. The examination of Simon Kane, who is rumored to be a man of incredible longevity, may shake the very foundation of modern thanatology and challenge the existing notions of death itself. However, even if this undying Leviathan proves to be more than a fairy tale, the mere confirmation of his existence won't suffice to prevent the powers that be from shutting our laboratory down. I need to figure out the most fruitful approach. Simon is a well-respected man, and if he mistakes my interest for effrontery, it would be nigh impossible to convince him to help me break new ground in the field of human vitality. Das ist unsere Mission. Day 1, by the end of which the Bachelor finds himself battling a truly unvanquishable foe. Ja, ihr seht, es ist ein bisschen aufgezogen wie ein Theaterstück. Wir sind jetzt hier also in Evajans Haus. Und möchten natürlich gerne erstmal ein bisschen plündern. So, hier könnten wir uns schlafen legen. Ihr seht ja schon so ein paar Statusanzeigen. Health, Immunity, Hunger, Exhaustion, Infection. Ja, das wird nämlich unser Hauptproblem werden. Und zwar der Hunger, weswegen ich das Spiel bisher noch nie durchspielen konnte. Ah, cool. Hab ich noch nie gemacht, glaube ich, mit dem Mikroskop. Weiß ich nicht. Naja, okay. Hier finden wir erstmal nichts. Dann schlage ich vor. Ja, lasst euch einfach ein bisschen auf das Spiel ein. Wo geht's denn runter? Hilfe. Ich hab's lange nicht mehr gespielt. Das ist bestimmt schon ein Jahr her. Ich will jetzt... Da ist die Tür. In Dunkelheit verborgen. Ich muss ja selbst erstmal wieder ein bisschen ankommen. Gucken, ob wir irgendwo noch was looten können. Erstmal nicht. Und hier ist unsere liebe Gastgeberin. Evayan. Did the sound from outside wake you up too? There was that terrible groan. And then something snapped loudly. So, ich habe Antwortmöglichkeiten. So. I fell asleep so quickly I didn't even notice. It's like I fainted. So what sounds are you talking about? I think there are strangers in the backyard by the pond. They are unlikely to be planning mischief, but I have a bad feeling about this. I'm afraid to go out to them. I hope they go away soon and stop disturbing our sleep. Why do you think they aren't planning anything foul? Nein, ich antworte lieber. I'd like to thank you for your hospitality, for board and bed. I sincerely hope you have everything you need, because I'm very happy to have you here. Daniel, is it? How do you know who I am? Glory is the messenger, riding ahead of the men, a celebrity from the capital, Bachelor Dankowski, the founder of Thanatica, the man who challenges death. Of course we've heard about you. This glory is undeserved yet, but I hope that getting to know your ruler will give me a chance to live up to the expectations. Death. So that's the enemy you've chosen for yourself. Isn't it hard? I don't think anyone has managed to defeat the evil yet. My enemy is inevitability. I'm challenging the forces of nature. I don't understand. I can barely understand it myself. Could death only seem inevitable to us, but in reality be nothing more than a whim of the will that had shaped this world? That is the question. So where is the key to my victory? It's not far. The Canes live at the Crucible, on Bridge Square. But could I please offer you a piece of advice? Go on. Simon has 2 younger sons. The eldest of the 2, Georgie, is called the Judge by the locals. Visit him first. He isn't asleep. He'll teach you how to speak with Simon. The youngest of the 3 is Victor. His daughter, Mariah, also wanted to see you. It's probably important. Was it she who knew about my arrival beforehand? Yes, she told me about it privately. Talking to her is no simple task. Mariah's that kind of person. She puts on airs, but that's just how the Canes are. It was Mariah who told me that she would help you defeat death. That's the precise wording. What a coincidence. Alright, thank you for the advice. Go, and I'll prepare everything for your return. Do come back after you speak to the Canes. They will probably do a lot of things that will puzzle you and put you on guard. I will have some advice that may be of help to you if you need it. Okay, I'll come back. So, hier ist unsere wunderschöne Map. Wir befinden uns... ich scroll mal raus. Wo sind wir noch gleich? Ich weiß es gerade nicht genau. Ich weiß es, sobald ich aus dem Haus rausgehe. Okay, auf jeden Fall sind hier die Canes. Zum Beispiel Simon Kane, Mariah und Evayan. Hier sind wir gerade. Alles klar, wir wollen dann zuerst einmal mit Georgie sprechen, meine ich, ne? Schauen wir mal. Die Map werden wir noch oft brauchen. Das Doofe ist, jetzt am ersten Tag müssen wir uns ziemlich beeilen. Ich habe nicht viel Zeit, dass wir uns umsehen, denn wir müssen viel erreichen an diesem Tag, damit unser Spiel morgen überhaupt weitergeht. Das ist tatsächlich nicht so einfach. Okay, hier sind wir. Und ich liebe diese Atmosphäre von der Stadt. Wir können hier erstmal mit den beiden reden. Es ist so eine Art Tutorial. Ihr seht ja, es ist relativ wie ein Theaterstück aufgebaut. Executor. Halt. I'm going to have to teach you about the technicalities of the setting, the time and the place. It's non-essential, but that's just how it is. The actor has to be prepared before he goes on stage, or else he'll fall down the aisle and stumble upon the prompt box. That would look mighty silly, wouldn't you agree? Who are you? An actor in a tragic mime show. That's unimportant. Will you listen to me or not? I am listening. Time flies by. It can't be stopped or turned back. Nights follow days, which are then followed by nights. Things happen without any regard for whether you're there to witness them. Don't expect anyone to wait for you. Most events can be missed. And so? And so it would make sense for you to visit the places that you care about regularly. You'll find the people that will play major roles in your fate there. They stand out from the common folk. The rest are just a crowd shot, a background, a bunch of extras. As it has always been. Indeed. Still, it's best to avoid hasty judgment. It's a paradox, you see. Don't try to care too much for the lives of these, bound to stand out people. And don't be too dismissive of the silent crowd. Both extremes will end in tragedy. Why is that? This world cares for your reputation. A fine and crucial instrument. Your reputation changes the world you see. For it is a mirror, wouldn't you agree? And so a bad reputation can get you into a lot of trouble. For example... Oh, need I describe? You've got vivid imagination. Everything changes, from mystical aspects to mundane things, like the people you meet treating you badly. How many enemies you've got. How high the prices rise. How bad your dreams are. Lots of things. A sorry prospect, so how do I maintain my reputation? Really? How is that even a question? Same as anywhere. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not betray, do not steal, do not covet, do not be an asshole, do not get caught. The rules are the same everywhere. A truly selfless deed, like risking something for their neighbor, or even a person who lives quite far away, can help in a dire situation. I see. Really? Good for you then. As for me, I can't see anything in this mask. I have no idea what's going on. Anyway, don't get too worked up about human lives. And don't put too much stock into another's words, mine included. He who trusts everyone is asked to be deceived. Definitely. Alles klar, ich danke dir für den Advice und gehe noch zu deinem Kumpel. Tragedian. Venerable Bachelor, please be so kind as to linger for a minute. This conversation won't take too much of your time, especially since time stops during dialogues. At least during the important ones. And our dialogue is extremely important. You need to know how to play after all, don't you? Who are you? A poor tragedian, if you please. A victim of circumstances, just like you. You are mistaken. I am the director, the person in charge of the situation. I am not a random actor. Of course you aren't. You are a living, breathing man, as is evident from your conditions and statuses. You experience hunger, thirst, and fatigue. You suffer from pain, wounds, and diseases. You're so lifelike. You have to eat, drink, sleep, and rest. And to make mistakes. The latter being the most definite proof of my human nature, wouldn't you agree? If I may, I would like to point out just how important it is to keep an eye on your condition. If you get dizzy or unnaturally sluggish, do have it checked up. Vital processes tend to run faster during emergencies than in everyday life. I knew a person who died of stress, but was diagnosed with starvation. It happens, I can testify to that as a doctor. Need I remind a wise man like you of the fact that hunger is sated with food? Food can be found in shops, and shops can be found in ordinary houses that are marked with specific signs. Sleep, however, is more complicated. People only sleep in beds and only in private residences around here. I am sorry, but that's just how our world is. Yes, the world is unjust. And quite silly, if you forgive me for saying so. Speaking of commerce, different shops sell similar items at different prices. Make sure you don't get cheated. People can be quite brazen around here. You can also barter with the folk out in the street. Some things may be nothing more than trinkets to you, but others would be willing to part with their life's blood for them. Blood? Yes, blood. It's not my place to lecture you, but if, following your Hippocratic oath, you ever consider easing someone's pain, feel free to just approach them with a suitable drug. You will see their pain receding before your very eyes. The sick fall asleep when they are close to recovery, don't they? Or when they're close to their ultimate rest. Still, helping the hopeless will grant you a good reputation. You will be seen as a benefactor willing to part with a precious sleeping draught or a painkiller for a simple bystander. Anything else? No? No, not yet. Bye then, Mask. Goodies. So. Wir checken noch kurz, was es mit den Geräuschen im Hintergrund auf sich hat. Von denen Jan berichtet hat. Ja. Da haben also Leute Unruhe gemacht. Das Ding ist, ich könnte... Oh, ich habe was eingesammelt. Ich könnte die beiden jetzt angreifen und töten. Ich weiß aber nicht, ob ich es machen soll, weil eigentlich bin ich ja kein Fan vom Kämpfen. Ich glaube, ich gehe einfach. Den einen treffen wir eh später nochmal. Ich möchte eigentlich hier nicht töten und Leute umbringen, solange ich es nicht muss. Konnten wir rennen? Ich weiß es nicht mehr. Wir können aber schleichen. So, eine Wasserflasche. Achso, hat er nicht mitgenommen. Okay, jetzt aber. Denn unser größtes Problem hier wird auf jeden Fall die Zeit und Hunger und Durst werden. Das sind wirklich so die Hauptgründe, weshalb ich das Spiel bisher noch nicht durchgeschafft habe. Aber ich finde einfach, ich weiß nicht, ich mag die Atmosphäre von diesem Spiel. Ist natürlich ein bisschen anstrengend mit den vielen Texten. Und weil er unglaublich viel im Hintergrund laden muss. So. Wir wollen zuerst an das hintere Haus. Und wie gesagt, hier am Anfang, jetzt muss ich leider ein bisschen durchrushen. Aber später haben wir mehr Zeit, uns umzusehen. Denn ihr habt schon gehört, die Zeit schreitet voran. Tja, ein schickes Haus, nicht wahr? Most Venerable Doctor, It is with great impatience that we have been expecting you. You need not delve into the minutiae of your business with us, since our family is well acquainted with your scholarly work. We are also quite aware of the difficulties you are experiencing and well prepared to do our utmost to support you. It hurts me all the more to be the one to inform you that Simon, my consanguineous brother, the creator, keeper, and embodiment of all that surrounds us, has been murdered. I can't believe it, it cannot be. My brother was murdered last night under the strangest of circumstances. But for all the mystery surrounding his death, I'd rather eschew the notion that his departure was connected with whoever had visited Simon that evening. The visitor is a man of laudable rectitude and an old friend of our family. They are witnesses to testify that he and Simon did nothing but converse. Who was the visitor? Someone you know quite well. The man whom my brother saw last night was your colleague, Isidore Burak. Was he not the very person to advise you come here as well? Yes. Isidore has done more than he thinks. I have a lingering feeling that time itself is using uncontestable powers to further its own intentions. What do you think? Categories like time, nature, and fate deprive man of responsibility for what goes on around him. I was taught to avoid this worldview. It could be that my mind is clouded by sorrow, but I cannot escape the feeling that your arrival was no coincidence. Your choice was made for you, my dear doctor. Let us not blame fate for it. Isidore wrote to you without making us aware. He took a risk that could have displeased our family. Really? Even though we were uncertain of when you would arrive, my brother was looking forward to meeting you. The tragedy may have been a consequence of the actions he took in preparation for your arrival. Someone has taken a powerful piece from the chessboard, the piece upon which your position here depended. It is doubly regrettable that Simon was playing on your side. My sincerest condolences to you. Is there anything I can do to help? Do you want to help us, Doctor? Find the murderer for us. My brother Victor, who is in the wing next door, will share some of his thoughts on the matter. Help us, and the reward will not disappoint you. Indeed, it seems there are too many coincidences. Your brother's murder can just well be called the murder of Bachelor Dankowski. I will help you in every way I can. I am convinced that if there is anyone at all that can help us solve this puzzle, then it is you. The mission calls for someone as astute and inventive as yourself. If Isidore was an instrument of fate, then Simon's murder is a message that fate intended for you personally. Do not think I am inclined to blame you for that. I am not. How do you plan to look for the murderer? We will take our own measures. The only thing I expect from you is to be yourself. Do only what you think is required. Whatever you find out, whatever you do, whatever your day turns into, everything is a clue to the solution of this puzzle. I repeat, everything that is happening here is happening on your account. Fine, I'm fine with this course of action. Okay. So. Wir wissen jetzt also, dass wir hier nun einen eventuellen Mord aufdecken müssen. Das wird jetzt unsere Hauptaufgabe sein. Und an diesem ersten Tag in diesem Spiel werden wir eine Menge Leute interviewen müssen, um mehr darüber herauszufinden. Das war jetzt erstmal der erste Part, Pathologic. Ja, heute ging es erstmal noch viel um den Einstieg, wie sich das Spiel spielen lässt und was wir hier so zu tun haben. Morgen wird sicherlich eine Menge mehr passieren. Seid gespannt. Ich hoffe, es gefällt euch ein bisschen und würde mich über ein paar Kommis freuen. Ich wünsche euch ein tolles Wochenende und schaltet in der nächsten Nacht wieder ein zu Pathologic. Dankeschön. Bis dann.